We're so glad you came in tonight to talk about what's going to happen next week. We're just thrilled you're going to be with us and excited for your first time to be at the conference. There are many, many exciting sessions and live singing and wonderful concerts, wonderful guests and winners and auditions. And we just can't wait for you to be there and be a part of it all. I can tell you here, some of the folks are on the screen here. I'm serving right now as president, and Diana Allen is with us. She's president-elect, soon to be president of NATS. Tina Hooks is here from our NATS office in Jacksonville. She is a big part of making this conference happen. So thank you, Tina. You all know Alan Henderson and all that he's doing to get this going. He's a big part of everything we do. Sam Handley is here, and Rebecca Schorsch from our committee, conference committee in Chicago, who are hosting us. And we're just really excited to have you all here. Rebecca, do you want to say a few words?
Sure. I'll just generally add on to what you said, Carol, which is I've been leading the Chicago committee over the past year, and we have a whole team of dedicated Chicagoans and Chicago area NATS members who've been thinking about how this program can be exciting and comfortable for everyone and as stress-free as possible. And we are going to share our local perspective with you. Many of us are going to be on site the entire time. So please get to know us, and we hope to get to know each one of you. And we are a resource to support you in your experience at the conference. And we're really looking forward to this being a great conference.
Great. Thanks, Rebecca, and thanks, Carol. Well, let's get at it. We have a little bit of information to share with you, and we've kind of walked down it and take a few questions as we go along, but we'll also have some questions at the end. And we're going to do our best to keep all this to an hour or less, but we'll go as long as you have questions. First of all, it's all about getting there, right? So some of us are driving, some of us are having air travel. And I encourage you, if you're traveling by air, there's a lot of disruption right now in the airways. So just stay informed with your airlines and make sure you kind of stay on top of that, and I hope that very few people have travel snafus as they travel into Chicago. I will say, if you're wanting to economize, the easiest way to get to the hotel is to take the train from either airport. You can get on the train in Midway, or you can get on the train in O'Hare, and it's really cheap and it's really convenient. And I will pop this in the chat in a minute. The route that's really easy. If you're coming from O'Hare, you take the blue line and you go all the way in to Washington, which is inside the loop. And you get off at Washington and you switch over to the red line, which should be going toward Howard and 95th, and you get off on Grand. And then it's just a couple of blocks to the hotel. And you can just get your map out and find your direction, because it never fails when I walk out of that station. I'm like, I walk the wrong way for about half a block before I can get my bearings and know where I'm going. And if you're coming in from Midway, you're going to be on the orange line. You actually do almost the same thing. You take the orange to State and Lake, which is right at the top of the loop. And then you switch over to the red line, go to the same place, get off the same place. And I'll pop that in the chat so you can copy it and paste it if you need it. And we will have, it's pretty easy to find the Marriott. So there are multiple entrances, and you should be able to find your way there pretty easily. If you're driving, just a reminder about discounted parking rates at the hotel, and you can get a sticker at the registration desk for your parking if you're coming in every day, or if you're coming in and staying for a few days, in order to get the discounted parking rate that NATS has. Yeah, I always say, we always say, get your rest before you come, because it's kind of nonstop once we get started. So save up on your sleep. There's lots of meetings, lots of sessions, lots of concerts, lots of fun, lots of late night events, and we'll talk about those in a minute.
So no, Alan, it's sleep before you get there, because you
That's what
won't
I
sleep
said.
once you get there.
So we have a good time at the NATS conference, and it's going to be a really great time of fun. I want to remind us all about some of the safety protocols we've set up. You should have received an email at least once in the last week or so with some reminders about that and some of the things we've set up. We do want everybody to be as safe as possible while we're together. One of the things we have put in place is a form which Karen just dropped into the chat. If you also got an email about this, and if you haven't done this, it'd be great to do this before you get there. Just speed up the check-in process. If you fill out the form, which only has a few fields, and upload a picture of your vaccination card, that just helps speed things along as we're trying to get everybody checked in as efficiently as possible at the registration desk. I've been at 3 different conferences in the last month, all of which post-conference, no matter how careful everybody was and people were, there have been a few positive cases come out of them. None of them have been like super spreader events, thankfully, but there have been a few cases at each of them. And they've all messaged, and reminded everybody to be very careful, and had a lot of protocols and suggestions about how to handle everything. So I'd love to say that on the other end, we'll end up with none, but I can't say that. I hope it will happen. We did a great job in January when we had the winter workshop, but that was a lot smaller event. So we'll be, loading up your vaccine card really helps with check-in. Bring your masks. We're encouraging people to wear them while traveling to limit their exposure. Then we're strongly encouraging masking in sessions, so we encourage you to do that. We have a 3-dot system based on your comfort of having contact with other people. So when you check in, you'll be asked to put either a red dot, a yellow dot, or a green dot on your name tag. And the red dot means you're not comfortable with any contact. You want to keep your distance. That's just how you feel. And the yellow dot is, I'll take the elbow bump or the fist bump kind of contact, great. The green dot is, I'll hug you, whatever, So we want everybody to be able to kind of project their preferences, and we're going to encourage people to when you look at a person's name tag, also look at that dot, so that we can hopefully help one another, welcome each other, and get to know each other without a lot of these kind of awkward, half hugs before somebody recoils and things like that. So that's our method for kind of helping one another express their comfort level with contact. And we're also encouraging everybody to bring a couple of self-tests. There can be a lot of reasons for that. You may want to test after you get here just to make sure, or a day after you get here just to make sure everything's okay. But were you to have any symptoms of any kind, it's great to have that self-test on hand with you, and it gives you a level of comfort to know you can just take it and know whether you're positive or negative. And being in places where we're going day and night, there's bound to be people get tired and not be on the regular routine and get worn out and get a scratchy throat or whatever from all kinds of reasons, not from COVID. So we don't want anybody to panic over anything, but we do, if anybody does have a positive case with their test, then we're asked you to email info@nats.org. And that's in that email, and just let us know so that we can be knowledgeable about it, make sure you're taken care of if you have any needs, and also that we're careful about letting everybody know that we've had a positive case. So that's kind of our plan, and we're really hoping that everybody will pitch in and be part of the plan and really live into the plan while we're all together, especially about kind of self-testing if you feel anything at all might be out of the normal. The next thing we want to talk about is Guidebook. Guidebook is our app for our conference, and it is your it's your guide all the way through the conference. You can download it. Karen's dropping the links for both Apple products and other products to download the app on your phone if you haven't already. And when you download the app, then you search for NATS 57th National Conference, and it'll pop right up and you download it. It's very simple. It's a public app, so you should be able to open it right up. There's lots of great features on the Guidebook app. It has lots of ability for you to interact with other conference goers, post pictures, the whole schedule with all the bios of every speaker, all the session descriptions, times, all the special events, everything is there in the schedule. And you can click on the day and thumb through it chronologically during the day. You can search for certain topics, or if you can't find so-and-so's session and they're a speaker, you can search for them and get to it that way. One of the things you want to do, however, is when you download it, is in the top right corner, there's a little head icon, a person icon, and you do want to go on there and it'll say create an account with your email. And the reason you want to do that is because that allows you to use some of the interactive functions in the app, like messaging your friend who you haven't seen yet to meet up, or checking in with a group of people that are in the conference that you're meeting up, posting a picture of friends that you haven't seen in years, and you can post those in there. You can ask questions. I can't find this, I can't find that. And somebody's kind of monitoring that to kind of answer some of those kind of questions for people. So the interactivity and the power of the app is really what will help you have a great experience. There are also times that we will send messages out to everybody through the app. Don't forget about such and such. This, so it's a great opportunity for you to kind of keep up. If there's any sudden change, somebody has to cancel at the last minute due to illness or some other totally strange reason, then we'll be able to message it to everybody. So all those things are there. The most important thing I think you can do, however, is create your own schedule in the app. So you can self-select the things you think you want to go to and build your whole schedule for every day. Oh, I want to, of this breakout choices, I want to go to all of them, but I'm going to go to this one. It's going to be my one I'm going to go to live. And you can click on that and it will build your schedule, and then it can remind you that the session starts in 15 minutes or whatever the length of the reminder is. But with so much in the app and so much in the schedule, it's really nice to take your time and kind of between now and then and kind of thumb through and kind of think about, oh yeah, I think I want to go. Even if you change your mind, you can change it. You just click off it, click on the one you end up deciding to go to. But it kind of helps you kind of think through a little bit and choose the sessions that you think you want to attend. And I think that's one of the most powerful tools in Guidebook really, is to kind of figure out what you want your day to look like. And like I said, there are opportunities for you to share pictures and your reactions to sessions. If you go to a session, there's a little place for you to rate the session. I think it's a 5-star system, I think it is. And after you go, you can check in at the session. So there are lots of things that make the Guidebook app really your go-to schedule. We will have a printed program book that will also have the schedule in it for those who need the tactile version and want to use a pen and mark things up and dog tag pages and all those things that make us feel good. So if you like that version, that works too. And so just you can also remind, I just want you to remind you, as a lot of you are new, and we have some multiple time attendees lurking in here too, is that even though you choose one breakout to attend, almost all the others are being recorded. And one of the benefits of registering for the conference is that we record most of our sessions and they all go into the NATS Live Learning Center. And as a registrant, about a month after the conference is over, you'll get an email that gives you 6 months of access to all the sessions that were recorded at the conference. So if you chose to go to a certain session live and you're really agonizing over that choice, just know that when that email comes, you can go right to that session you were agonizing over and you really also wanted to hear those speakers. So every attendee has that access for up to 6 months after we make it live. Anything anybody in the know wants to add about Guidebook? Tina, Diana, Carol?
I love Guidebook. I've already set my schedule. So many days it's 7:45 till 10 or midnight on late night nats, but it's so interactive and easy. I hope you all have downloaded it already. It's magic. Love it.
It gets better every time.
Yeah.
It's great.
And
You'll
Edric already
find
posted a
handouts.
message to everybody in there.
You'll find handouts for different sessions
Oh,
too.
yes. That's good.
So that is really great to have it right there in your hand.
And for many of the sessions, the speakers will have already uploaded any handout and their PowerPoint often. And for those that haven't done that, we will be getting it at the conference and uploading it into Guidebook, so that when you get your recording access, you can go back to Guidebook and still pull up the handouts and the PowerPoints if you want to in Guidebook while you're watching the recordings on the Live Learning Center. So it's a tool that stays with you for several months after the conference is over before we archive it. And so it can be a useful tool for you even after the conference to stay in touch with some people or be in contact with some people as well. Anything else about Guidebook that I didn't say, Tina? Good. Great. So when you arrive, you get to the lobby, check into the hotel. Just reminders of a couple things. One is there's free internet access in your rooms included with your hotel rate. So that's something we negotiated for all our attendees. And so just remember that. There's not internet access in the meeting areas, however. So you just have to kind of use your wireless service if you're trying to get on the internet there. But scope out the place, figure it out. It's a big place, but it's really convenient for our meeting event. We had it there 6 years ago and we had a great time. But most of our events are on the 5th, 6th, and 7th floors, which are all accessible by both elevators and a series of escalators that are in the lobby areas. And we have one ballroom on the 4th floor, the Avenues Ballroom. So it's pretty simple to navigate between floors, either on escalators or elevators, and there's multiple elevators. But wander around, find the different places you want to go and you think you need to go. So you just kind of get a little bit of orientation. There are a lot of food outlets all around the hotel. In the hotel, there's a bar in the main lobby, which you'll see when you check in. And then on the mezzanine, there's a restaurant. But all around the hotel, there are just gobs and gobs of restaurants. There's a Starbucks in the lobby, in the hotel, in the kind of, what do they call that area? I forgot.
A market.
The little market area. I will say the line starts getting long early, but there's a standalone Starbucks right across the street from the hotel. So if you see that line long, you're probably going to do best just to walk across the street, get your Starbucks, and come right back, because it literally is just steps across the street to the other Starbucks, which probably has a lot more staff and is cranking them out every morning. But there are there's everything in the world, from the pizza place on the block to Italy on the block to Shake Shack to enormous amount of restaurants. There are, in your guidebook app, there's a list which some of our Chicago committee people have put together as well. Thank you, Rebecca. And they posted in there. Okay, so it's there. So I think I know early registration also happens on Thursday, 4:30 to 7-ish. So if you get in early if you get in on Thursday, drop by, go ahead and get checked in and get your things. If you're getting in a little later, it opens at 7:30 the next morning, or 7 the next morning, 7:30 on Friday morning. So you can stop by then and get checked in and get going. But since you'll have your guidebook app, you'll already have your schedule already, and so you'll be ready for that part. It's really just a matter of getting your name badge, and that is kind of your access to sessions, is your name badge. And there are a few ticketed events, of course, and so we want you'll have a ticket for the Jimmy Webb concert, and you'll have a ticket for John Holliday's concert in particular.
And you can buy those when you get there if you don't have what you need.
Right.
Yeah.
The couple of things that are really fun at the conference are late night NATS. And this year we have a cabaret performance on one night by David Sabella and a couple other folks that are really great. Sue, both of them wrote the So You Want to Sing Cabaret book, and they're going to do a great performance. And on the last night, we have a live band karaoke. So if you've never sung karaoke to a live band, this is your opportunity. And they know everything, and they can play everything. And they got their books too. But you can come, sign up, be ready to have a great time after John Holliday's concert is over, and we wrap up things on the last night. Also, Carol mentioned things about buying extra tickets. So there's several things that you can add to your registration on site. If you need extra concert tickets, or you have friends in town that want to go to one of the concerts, they can buy tickets too. The John Holliday is already, his concert is also up on which service? I've forgotten, Tina.
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. So you can search for it on Eventbrite, and I think we're also have it on our Facebook page that it's where you can link to it. So people can buy tickets through that. Also, some of you may have thought maybe you didn't want to go to a premium workshop on the first day, but now you've decided you want to. You can add one of those at registration when you check in. Just tell them you want to add one of the workshops, and they're prepared. All the speakers are prepared to have a few more people in their workshops on the first day. There's a boat tour, architectural boat tour of the Chicago area. We have a few tickets left for that if people want to get one of those. Of course, one of our really fun events is our gala banquet, where we award Lifetime Achievement Awards to our recipients, and we give out other awards. We dance, we eat, we just have a good time, enjoy one another's company. And that's on the evening of the 3rd. And we also have conference t-shirts if you want to get a conference t-shirt while you're there. So all those things are things you can, add on after you're there. And also on the very last morning on the 6th, we have our business meeting. But what's exciting about the business meeting is that we give away a lot of door prizes and draw for a lot of prizes. People have a ticket number and we just draw tickets. The prize de resistance is a free registration to the next conference. So somebody always gets that every year. And we have lots of other things that our vendors have donated and others have donated on that day. I think we're giving away an iPad that morning as well. And so lots of things happen on that night. Now, I see a few questions. Some people, if you search for make sure you search for NATS 57th National Conference on the guidebook app, and it should come up. Shouldn't matter where you are in the world either. Okay. Mm-hmm. You should. One thing I will say is sometimes people want to copy and paste email addresses into some of these forms, and sometimes that doesn't work. So make sure you just type it in if you're having trouble. Sometimes copy and pasting has some formatting behind it, and it kind of messes up the apps. Somebody asked about those who are joining virtually. We're so glad that you'll be able to join us, even though you can't be there in person. We're excited to offer a limited number of sessions that are streamed. And we will be communicating with all those who have online access with individual links. You will probably be able to do it through Guidebook, but we're still working with the hotel to make sure we have all the right links established. But as soon as we do, we'll make sure you have an email just for you that gives you explicit instructions about that. And you'll be able to access those sessions in the streaming manner. What other questions? There, unfortunately, the Art Institute changed their protocols about 3 weeks ago with the rise in cases in Chicago, and they shut out all private tours or any kind of tour groups or group tours, even if they are operating them. So they're not doing group tours right now. So we had to refund everybody who had purchased tickets their money for that. Obviously, you can still go on your own. It's a great place to visit if you're in town. There are lots of other great places to visit if you have free time and want to visit. Ask just about any of our local committee members. They'll be glad to give you some guidance. The concierge in the lobby is a great resource. I've used them in the past to make dinner reservations, give us guidance on a variety of things. So don't hesitate to use that. I think you see.
Yeah. Alan, can I jump in on that? Just since you mentioned dinner reservations, dining has obviously changed a little bit because of COVID. And although Chicago is a great restaurant city, I highly recommend any person coming who wants to meet with friends, to go out to dinner, make a reservation. There will be some places where you can show up, but a lot of restaurants are asking for reservations these days, and the wait times will be long at places if you just like show up at the door. So just know that that is happening right now. Err on the side of reserving.
Did you,
Right.
Rebecca, did you see the question in the chat about Roosevelt and if there are practice rooms for collabs?
I see that now. Yes, there is highly detailed information on transportation to Roosevelt that will be on Guidebook. It will also be available at the reservation desks. And that includes how long it takes to walk, how long it takes to ride share or taxi, all the variety of public transportation options you have, what the entrance to the building on the security end looks like. So we've got you covered. And then in terms of practice rooms, the practice rooms are available to NSA participants and pianists starting at 7:30, both on the 1st and the 2nd.
We also have some practice rooms in the hotel, and there will be some, those will be listed in the program on Guidebook soon. And also there will be sign up sheets by each of those rooms. We have some blocked out times for certain things that are already scheduled, but the free times that are on every sheet are first come, first serve. We ask that everybody be respectful and, you know, kind of sign up for 30 minutes or something like that, unless you're working with multiple singers. But there should be, and of course, the use of them, depending on when you need it, gets easier and easier as we move through the conference, because obviously there's a lot of folks wanting to get in and practice the first day or two. So just be patient, but there are plenty of times available. And we have, I think, 7 practice rooms with pianos and a couple that don't have pianos in them. So, and that's just at the hotel. And then of course, there's a whole section of practice rooms at Roosevelt for people to use.
Alan, we have a couple of questions about the hotel.
Yep.
One is about how friendly is the hotel about late check-in or check-out? And has anybody had any luck getting hold of an in-person operator at the Marriott? If we have a phone number to give.
Let me see if I can find a phone number. Tina might be able to find that for us.
I'm looking too.
But one of the things they've always been great to us about late checkout, early check-in, as long as the room's available. Just kind of, on check-in days, it kind of depends on on what's happened the night before, room-wise, and how full they were.
And
I
Karen
do know they're
just
fairly.
post-
Oh, okay.
Karen just posted a number for the Marriott in the chat.
Okay. I do know the hotel's fairly full, on June 30th, July 1st, 2nd. So, if you're coming in, then you might have to wait if you're checking in, you might have to store your luggage or something before they can get the room. But they do usually, at least when I've been there before, they've taken my phone number. They've messaged me as soon as my room was ready. I go to the desk and they already had my key ready. Because if you go there, you're already checked in. You already get checked in and everything, and then they just have your key held for you, and you're ready as soon as they text you. So they've always provided us good service and helped us out a lot. So everybody has the hotel number now. And reminders about trains. A nursing room. Seems to me like I've seen one somewhere at the hotel, but they should be able to tell you for sure. And I will say, NATS is a family-friendly conference. We've had newborns that are like 6 weeks old at the NATS conference. My kids have grown up going to the NATS conference. And a lot of my friends in NATS have seen my kids grow up, and now they're 30 to 22 in that range. So they're all going to be there again. They love coming to the NATS conference. And two of my daughters are bringing their boyfriends, so we'll see how that goes. But we're looking forward to having a great time. And please know that, we want you to be here. And if your kids are coming with you and you need to zip in and out of sessions, don't worry about it. Just do what you need to do. We're glad you're there. And we want your family to have a great time too in the city as well.
And if your family is coming, if you are bringing children, please, we encourage you to bring them to the family concert. It's a really special concert that we've programmed with, a list of the country's, some of the most notable children's family performers. It's a really special event. It's such a big deal in this community that other family performers have reached out to NATS about it. So it's we have a sign up for you to sign up to bring your children, and we've got special door prizes for the families, and it's just going to be a really special event. So please bring kids.
And we're going to have, everybody that has kids right down front, not quite a mosh pit, but, there are going to be chairs and everything, but we want, it's going to be a really interactive concert. And I just have to say, my kids are looking forward to that that concert more than anything, because they grew up listening to some of these folks, because my wife and I, plied them with their songs in travels and all kinds of different ways when they were younger. So they know all the songs. They're going to be down there with the kids acting like 10-year-olds, singing all those songs too. So it's really going to be fun.
Hey, Alan, I'm so sorry. Excuse me, Diana. I just got through the hotel. Can you believe that? So yes, there is a nursing mom room. And if it's not available, they will make up a room for you. All you have to do is let them know. Who asked that? Natalie. Okay, so she said to just go to the front desk and tell them that you need accommodations, and they'll take care of it. And then, by the way, if you don't want to take public transportation, there's something called Taxi Palooza that they work with the hotel. So I'll put that number in there. And then they also said they will concierge check luggage if you get there too early and your room isn't ready. Okay, so yay.
And the question about the NSA sessions at Roosevelt, they're open to everyone. So all students are able to go. Any family who are accompanying the students or teachers and we welcome their, the room is not huge, so it would be limited to room availability. But remember, coming to Roosevelt, you'll want to be masked and go through the protocol coming into the building. But we've got some great sessions lined up, so really excited about those.
And if you are going to join us for those, we just ask that you let us know by the end of this week, because we have to submit the list of folks who security has the all clear to check in to Roosevelt. So as many people are welcome as you'd like to bring, but we need to know who they are.
If you're a registered attendee, your name is going to be on the list. If there's somebody with you that's not a registered attendee and wants to, see somebody, NSA, a parent, a child, you need to make sure you do that JOT form for every person that's not registered, so that's going to assure they end up on the list for access at Roosevelt. It will be very hard for anybody that's not registered for the conference in one way or another, to get into Roosevelt without filling out that form. So you just need to make sure you can do it. You can do that form as many times as you need to make sure, anybody that's accompanying you or your group that wants to get into Roosevelt to see any NSA is able to do that.
And if you're not sure, just fill
Yep.
out a form and put their name down. It's much better to have their name down and have them not show up than to not have them on the list. So err on the side of generosity, and canceling is no problem.
Yep, and you don't have to cancel or anything. You just won't show up, and it's no problem at all. Better safe than sorry, and better, like I said, we're always changing our mind about what we want to go to see, or if we start talking to a friend and they say you must go to this session, and then you change your mind. So just be prepared all the way around. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these folks' kids. That's great. I'm glad you all are bringing your kids. And if there's some emergency babysitting need or something, I know some folks that can do that if there's some emergency that you need.
Future NATS members, right, Alan?
Yeah, right. Okay, what other questions that we haven't heard? You can feel free if you'll need to open up your mic and ask a question. No
Ian
question.
has his hand up, Alan.
Okay, Ian, shoot.
Hello, hi. Ian Simpson here, he, him pronouns. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for this session. This is awesome. Coming in from Toronto, but I'm
Great.
also an American citizen, so I'm dual. I'm now completely engrossed in guidebooks, so I'm like going through it like crazy. Can someone explain what poster paper session is?
Oh, yes. So some of our poster paper sessions are kind of research oriented topics often. And so what we do is we have 3 groups on 3 different days, and at each of those sessions, there are about 12 or so poster papers. And each of the people who prepared that research have prepared a poster and usually a handout of some kind, and they're going to be standing next to their poster. So we can wander through those and see some of the research people are doing. Some people just applied to do that actual format for this event. And so for an hour and a half or so every day, a different set of those poster sessions are exhibited in the exhibit hall, and the speakers are there to discuss their research and discuss their topic. So you can engage them in conversation about any of the ones you're interested in. So that's what the poster paper sessions are. Great question.
Sounds great. Thank you, Alan. Is it okay if I ask one more question?
Sure.
I may have missed this because I was engrossed in guidebook. Did you say there's so many wonderful presentations? So if we choose one and there's something else happening at the same time, are they recorded for us to watch them at a separate time? You may have said that, and apologize.
Yeah, so included with our registration is all the sessions that we do record. The only ones we're really not recording are the early morning coffee and conversations, and then a few plenary sessions that are concert based that we have licensing issues with, and we don't want to deal with that. So, or the performer didn't really want us to record. So everything else is pretty much recorded. So about a month after the conference, you'll get an email that will give you access for 6 months to all the recordings of all the other sessions that you didn't attend. And even the ones you did, if you want to go back and review something from one of the sessions you did attend. And you'll have handouts and PowerPoint files attached on Guidebook to a lot of sessions as well. And you'll still have access to those as well. Great. Angela. Raised her hand. You want to get on, Angela, and unmute? Whenever you're ready. Who else has a question? Ah, here she comes. The Angela, I should say, not just Angela, not just any Angela, the Angela Brown. No, I don't hear you. Ask to unmute. See if that'll do it. Still don't hear you. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. moved on my screen.
She
But
might need to type it in the chat.
I'm not sure why you're.
Rachel has a question.
No, we'll come back to you, Angela.
Mhm. Thank you. Sorry I'm not on camera today. Thanks so much for this information. I'm really getting a lot out of it and I'm excited to attend for the first time. I live here in Chicago and am, like on the board and all of that, but was just wondering if Guidebook would be a good place to be looking for potential like room share for even just a couple of the nights. I wasn't able to secure housing for myself because I live here. So just wondering what folks would suggest about that.
Often people are messaging up there. It takes a little while for people to populate their profiles in Guidebook. I would also suggest you just go on to the NATS members only Facebook page and just post something. If you're not already a member of, a member of the NATS members only Facebook page, search for it, join it, you'll get approved, and you can post. Often people will post in there, say they're looking for somebody to share a few nights, or somebody may already have a reservation and wants a roommate to help share costs. So that's the best way to do it. And if I hear of anybody, I'll be sure to try to remember to send them your way.
Great, thank you.
Alan, did I answer the gala question? Okay. Angela asked
Yeah.
how formal
yeah.
is the gala?
Yeah. You can be as dolled up as you want, guys and gals, but plenty of people are, business, even some business casual you'll find. So there's no expectation of dressing to the hilt.
I think Carol's planning on wearing her tiara.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have that. We'll have that.
Nope.
We encourage you for the regular conference, just dress comfortably, right? You're going to be I think it was some of our staff were calling it conference chic today, which is whatever you're wearing plus tennis shoes, because they're doing a lot of walking around. So that's what we call conference chic in the NATS office, apparently. And so, just be comfortable and have a great time, so that there's no real expectations about that.
Sleeves are a good idea. Air conditioning is air conditioning, and you might get
Those of us who are sensitive to temperature, especially on the cold side, you might want to take a layer just in case you need it, because some of those rooms, what happens is we try to pre-cool some of the rooms, because when you get a lot of people in them, they heat up pretty fast, and sometimes we want the fans not to be on for certain sessions, so we pre-cool it down so that it gets warmer and warmer as the session goes on, but still is comfortable by the end. So it's great to make sure you have a layer if that's something that you're concerned about. Great question. What other questions people have?
I believe Patricia, did we answer Patricia's question? Did we get to Patricia the question about the premium workshops?
Yeah, I just had a question about the premium workshops, and if I'm traveling that day and preparing for conference or my presentations for the following weekend, can I buy access to the workshops, the premium workshops, after the fact, or do I have to buy them before?
You can. They will be on the Live Learning Center, and so if you choose at the end that you say, "Oh yeah, I really wish I'd seen that," or you heard something, 5 people said this was the best workshop ever.
Yeah,
you can buy access to it on the recorded version after the fact.
Okay, and that will buying access to that, I will have access to all of the premium workshops then, or just one particular?
Whichever one you choose, and you can choose multiple ones if you want.
Okay, but
each one has a cost associated with it.
Got it. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Who else? Great questions. have we exhausted everyone?
Mary has a, Mary McMurtry.
Okay,
Hello, can you hear
Great.
me?
yeah.
God forbid, but should one take their self-test and become positive? I know you said to email info@nats.org, correct?
Mhm.
Do you have an idea of like, if someone does end up being positive, like what the chain reaction would be after that? Like I'm sharing a room with someone and I'm hoping we're not going to come across that, but questions running through my mind is like, would I then need to isolate, like move out into a different
Yeah.
room, stuff like that?
I would say a couple things. One, obviously, you're going to want to kind of quarantine yourself if you do test positive. What happens between you and other, roommates or whatever is up to the comfort level of the two of you.
Right.
But the later you get in the conference, I do know there's room in the hotel if that were the case, and somebody had to move into another room for whatever reason. The hotel is not full to the brim as we move through the conference. So I don't anticipate that it would be a problem if you did need to get another room, for instance.
Okay, good.
That
That
makes
was
sense?
just, yeah, that was just on my mind,
Yeah,
just in
that's a
terms
good-
of caring for my colleagues and myself, and just like, okay, what would I need to have in mind if that were to come down the
Great
pike?
question. And we do want, well, another reason we want, obviously people to let us know is because we want to be helpful to you if you're not feeling well. And so we want to make sure we're, are able to get you food if you need it, things like that. If people need to, aren't feeling well and need to kind of quarantine themselves.
Cool, thank you.
Good question. There is a supermarket like within a block and it's a really good one too. So easy to go get food, to bring in your room and, for breakfast or whatever you need. And Trader Joe's is right down the street. I think it's is it Whole Foods? That's the grocery store. I think it is Whole Foods. So, they're right there. So easy to get to within a block or so. And, if you want to bring your own food for lunch that you pack, totally fine. There are sandwich places all around that, obviously you can eat in the hotel. There's lots of, fast food and sandwich type places within a couple of blocks. Again, on the guidebook app or some restaurant recommendations from our committee. There is breakfast in the hotel restaurant, right? But it's not like free breakfast like you would get at some of your other hotels that you might frequent. If a student were to test positive, would they be allowed to submit a video? That is probably not going to happen, only because we want everybody to be on the same level. And according to what Mark and Dan have told me, if a student singer tests positive, that's just unfortunately going to be, they're not going to be able to sing, is what's going to happen. We are hoping that does not happen, of course. And fortunately, I think the fact that we're doing those two things the first 2 days will hopefully alleviate that from happening, or that it will happen only at a very small number of people. There is room service at the hotel. It's a full hotel. They have everything, room service available. Good question. Anything else? I'm glad we got another breath of questions here. All right, I think what's that, Tina?
I think Ian has his hand up again.
Oh, Ian, sorry.
Pointing over here to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi, it's me
Here
again.
he is.
Hi,
That's
everybody. This may also be a Canadian thing, but Can you explain what the national student auditions are? I don't know what that
Yep.
is.
National student auditions are our national level of student adjudication opportunities for NATS members and their students. So lots of our chapters, of course, have chapter audition events around the continent. And so at the region level every year, if students go to the region level, those who are in the top 5 in each category at the region level are eligible to submit videos to be adjudicated again and be eligible to be in the live semifinal and final rounds at the national conference. So we have about 220 singers from all over coming to Chicago for the semifinal and final rounds. So on the first day of the conference, we'll have mostly the high school categories in both classical and music, and music theater categories. And they will have their semifinal at Roosevelt in the morning. And then at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, those who make the finals will sing live at the conference hotel in the ballroom. So that's on their schedule, the finals. And then on the second day, then it's the college level categories of the same. So that, and then the same thing happens at Roosevelt in the morning and then at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So those are great opportunities if you're in a chapter. I know some of us aren't in chapters for various reasons. We're in remote areas or whatever, but it's a great opportunity. But are you in Toronto, you said? Yeah, so
I'm just outside of Toronto.
Ontario chapter does auditions, and then the Great Lakes region is the region you're in, and they have auditions every year. So if you take some students to the region auditions, then they could be eligible to kind of move to the national student auditions level.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and there's a whole
that was awesome.
There's a whole web page on our web page, a sub web page on national student auditions, and you can find out everything you want to know about national student auditions there. So, great. Well, we're wrapping up on what I hoped would be an hour, and it is an hour. So we really appreciate everybody being here, and it's been great to see everybody. We're so excited to see you in just a short time. And our board meets, a lot of our board is arriving a week from today, and we have 2 days of board meetings before most everybody arrives later in the week. So if there's anything we can do for you between now and then, I hope you'll email us, the NATS office. You can email it to info@NATS or any of the other emails. All our staff emails are our first name @nats.org. So you can reach us that way as well. Get your guidebook app ready and set, get all your sessions, get excited about all the great times we're going to have together. It's a really exciting time to be back together and be live in person after, from a national conference level, 4 years. So we're really excited about that. And we have just some really great opportunities. I just will leave you with something we started a few years ago at our opening session, and that is having a community sing, where we all, as a community, as a singing community, sing together. And I'm very excited that we're going to have Clarice Assad, who's just a wonderful performer, composer. She's writing a piece just for us to perform. You'll get your part in email or in some version on the guidebook here coming up soon, maybe this weekend. So in addition to kind of all the opening ceremonial kinds of things like singing the Canadian national anthem, the US national anthem, and Andi Musique as hundreds of singers together, which is always a special event, and just gives us off on a great start, along with just recognizing a few folks that help make our event what it will be. So I think that session just really gets us off on a great start. So We hope you all have safe travels and a safe journey. And if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know. And we'll look forward to seeing you in a week and a half. Have a great evening. Bye.